Welcome back everybody and hello to every single new visitor. It's your favorite German potato. Are you searching for some good DiRT Rally 2 controller settings and also the explanations behind all those values? Well, I probably have some very interesting insight for you. But we shouldn't lose any time as you're definitely searching for the key facts, guys. This isn't supposed to be a 20-minute video, so let's go. Go to options and extras, go to input, click on your device, which is the Xbox One wireless controller for me. It also works for other controllers. And then go to the advanced settings tab, and here we are, guys. These are the stock controller settings. We have steering sensitivity, steering linearity, steering dead zone and saturation, throttle dead zone and saturation, brake dead zone and saturation. These are the important ones. The steering sensitivity controls the responsiveness of your steering inputs. If you increase this value, your car gets more responsive, but of course also twitchier and more aggressive. If you lower this value to something like 20 or 10, your car gets way more stable, but it also doesn't steer anymore, so you definitely don't want to use a low value in DiRT Rally 2. A value around 80 seems to be the honey spot for me personally, guys, as your car gets more responsive, but it's still not super twitchy, not super aggressive. This definitely helps you when you're racing some faster cars like Group A and Group B cars and so on. In the beginning of the game, you can probably, I don't know, use a value like 90 when you race all those front-wheel drive cars. But as soon as you reach some rally monsters, lower this value to something like 80 and you're good to go. Let's talk about the steering linearity. If you put this to a low value, guys, then this makes your steering directly proportional to your steering inputs, which makes it very, very sensitive. If you increase it, it makes it less sensitive, but also less consistent. So your car can feel some kind of sluggish, if you know what I mean. The stock setting for this says 4, which is pretty optimal in my opinion. I also tried 3 and 5, which were also pretty decent, but I think 4 is the honey spot. If you think your steering is slightly delayed, go to 3, and if you think it's too sensitive, use 5. I go with 4. Steering dead zone and saturation, set the percentage of input that is ignored. The steering dead zone is actually the inner dead zone, so if we higher this value, that means that it takes some time until your first input is detected. And well, if we lower it, it's instantly detected. Normally I'd say use 0, that's what I'm also using in Forza Motorsport and Forza Horizon in P-Cars 2. But as DiRT Rally 2 is very, very sensitive, I'm using something like 10. Even if your controller isn't worn out, sometimes it's just detecting input. Take a look at it, guys. With 0, we go back to input reporting. And there we go. As you can see, it's starting at 3, 4, whatever. So it's detecting input, and I'm just touching it slightly, and this is way too sensitive in my opinion. So we go back to the connected devices, go to 10, use these settings, and then we go back and there's no input anymore. And still, when I steer, it instantly starts. So it's still very sensitive, but even if your controller is slightly worn out, it's the better setting. The steering saturation is the outer dead zone of your controller thumbstick. So it tells you how much input is required until you reach full lock, until you reach 100% steering. 100 is a pretty good value in my opinion. If you lower this, it feels like a D-pad, like a keyboard, you know, click, click. 1, 0, there is nothing more, so the distance is very short until you reach full lock. A higher value than this is definitely required, as you can be more diverse with your steering inputs, but you also have to be slightly more sensitive. So use 100 and you're good to go. By the way, if you use a value higher than 100, you can't reach full lock anymore, you can't reach 100% steering. So let me quickly show you. I'm using 120 now, apply this, go to import recording, and now that's full lock for me, 82%, so don't use that. The theory behind throttle dead zone and saturation as well as brake dead zone and saturation is the same. I definitely recommend using 0, 100 for the most comprehensible inputs. Let me also quickly tell you that the vibration and feedback settings are totally personal preference, so they don't make you slower or faster, you know, there's not the best value. And that's already it with my short controller settings guide. I hope it was helpful, guys. Don't forget to tell me in the comment section which kind of settings do you use. Maybe I can also learn from you. And don't forget to smash the like button, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell to get notified when I'm uploading new videos. And I see you next time. Goodbye.